back. It's celebrity historian Raffi Andonian, and you brought some peanut butter because we're talking about Peanut Butter Month.
That's right, and believe it or not, it has a history as well, like so many other things.
Yes, yeah, of course, and you would know the history. Of course, this comes around every year in March, I guess, right?
That's right, celebrating the most American of things.
Right.
One of my favorites actually is a quote by a foreign reporter, foreign-born reporter who was in the United States, and he was asked, when did you feel like you became American? And he said, when I started to love peanut butter.
Oh, interesting. Well, you know, speaking of that, I think we got to get some origins, really, of peanut butter, where it came from, where the idea came from.
It begins in the Americas, in Central America, thousands of years ago, is when you have peanuts and mashing of peanuts in some fashion, like soups and butters and, you know, what we would call these different kind of types dishes.
Sure.
But when Europeans come over across the Atlantic and then go back across the Atlantic, they take those peanuts and peanut butter and take it back across to places like Africa and even Asia. It starts to get traded. And think about Asian cuisines and African cuisines today that have peanuts in them. Yeah. But believe it or not, it starts in the Americas and then goes there. So those are actually, historically speaking, relatively recent additions to their cuisines. Yeah. Now, what's interesting in the United States is it doesn't come to the United States until about the 18th century. So we're talking the 1750s, 1780s. And the reason for that is it comes back across the Atlantic with the English. So it didn't actually make it up to North America originally. It had to kind of go all around the world before it came here.
Fascinating, yeah.
That's how it kind of ends up being, you know, in the United States. Now, one of the ways it becomes very American is by the time of the 19th century, there's more and more promotion of it and popularization of it. And one of the big people that is behind it is Dr. George Washington Carver, born, of course, not far from here.
I was wondering how long it was going to take you to bring him up, because I love that story.
The Peanut Man, right?
That's right.
100+ uses. He has publications. You can find him on online archives, finding all the ways he promotes to use peanuts and especially peanut butter. Yeah. And one of the ways he talked about it was that you can use it as shaving cream. I think it works pretty well. Look at that, nice and creamy and smooth. Look at that. I really think it works really nicely. Okay. So we're going to do a little demonstration and see.
Look at you.
See how well it works. You see, it's a little gooey on my razor here, but see, nice and smooth. I'm not cutting myself, and I can't even look in the mirror. I can't even see right now.
Look at that. You look great. There is not a smear of peanut butter on your face left.
The buttery part of peanut butter. That's what we're tapping into with the shaving cream.
So that was one of the uses that you can find that's out there.
One of the uses that is there.
I'm going to get this big chunk before it falls off. Oh, there we go. All right.
Now, one final thing to consider that really makes it popular is not just the labor and the promotion of George Washington by George Washington Carver, and now we have the cereal guy who's doing this.
And all these endorsements.
And all the endorsements. But now I think what really gets it is the arrival and the invention of sliced bread. When sliced bread gets invented in Iowa, it spreads across Missouri and across this region very early on in the 1920s and into 1930s. And that's when you get the PB&J.
That's when you put it with jam,
awesome stuff. That's right. And in that same period, you get partial hydrogenation, which gives it this texture that makes it shelf stable and able to export it in much wider circles and be able to distribute it. So all those things have to come together to make it really popular for the United States to have peanut butter.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for filling us in on the history of peanut butter during this month. We appreciate it. Yeah, stick around. More fun happening later.